Just 1 second. I'm not
Okay.
able to see you because I'm putting on the YouTube.
Okay.
All right. Just a few minutes. Just 1 second. Okay. All right. So hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Whoever I've not said hello to, this
Yes.
is the time
Hi.
that I say hello to all of you.
Hi.
Thank you very much for being here, and lots of love to all of you as we begin today's conversation, a topic. Well, again, as we say, this topic, so many times we've talked about this, and yet we have to come here on Saturdays and we have to do some natak, we have to do some conversations. So here we are. As usual, if any of you have any questions to ask, something about your private life, something that you need an answer to, please feel free to ask. This is an open conversation forum, and whatever questions you have, it's going to be, it's going to be good for everybody else as well. We think that only we are going through some of the issues and everything, but you know what? The whole world is just simply going through the same stuff. If we think our problems are special, but you know what? I remind everybody again and again, all the problems can only be put into three buckets. People have problems in relationships, people have problems about money, and people have problems about health. And that's the end of all problems. So if you have any of those problems and if you wish to discuss, please go ahead and ask me on the chat. Okay, so welcome everybody. And today, thank you so much, Monica, and thank you for all the love. Hi to everybody. Thank you, Malika. Thank you, Aparna. Thank you for the compliments that I'm seeing on the chat. It's only for this that I come every Saturday dressed up at 5 p.m. So thank you very much for making it, making it so wonderful for me. All right. So today's topic, becoming or being, becoming versus being. And so becoming all the time we are looking at the outside world, right from the word get-go, from the day that we are born, from the time that we begin to get into this earth. All of the effort is towards looking outside. We've come to earth to experience becoming. Yes, we've actually come to earth to experience becoming. And so all the effort starts from the first moment itself, when we have to be a good person, we have to be a good student, we have to be a good child, we have to become, because what we are is not good enough. And so through much conditioning, through much cajoling and conditioning by our parents, we try to become the best son, the best daughter. We become a better student. We become a better human being. And all our lives, this is what we do. We focus on the outside. We choose a career. And then for a career, we become a doctor. We become an engineer. We become whoever we have to become. But through outside knowledge, we all know how to become. We totally know how to become. Okay, if you want to become a doctor, this is what you have to do. These are the steps you have to take, and then you might become. But as we become, the one thing that we keep forgetting again and again, and that's not that we forgot purposely, because we came to experience the non-being. We came to experience how to look only on the outside and how not to look inside. And for that reason, we had to keep becoming on the outside. We had to keep becoming something or the other. There's a role model out there, whether it be in your class or it be somebody, that you know, but there is a role model out there, and then you have to become that. And how will you become that? Through knowledge, through emulating, through copying what they are doing, whatever it is. You look outside and you become more and more. Whenever you are in the race to become something, anything, is never enough. You would see that, okay, you wanted to become, in the career, you wanted to become a doctor. But once you became a doctor, it wasn't enough. Then you had to become a specialist. Once you became a specialist, it still wasn't enough. And then you had to establish yourself as, the best in this and the best in that. And you had to become the best in this and the best in that. And that wasn't enough. It's never going to be enough, because actually, when we came to Earth, we came to experience the not being enough. So we came to become, and then as we focus more and more on becoming, all that we get to sit on is where all we are not enough. And all of us know by now, there's nothing new that I say in any of these sessions, but to take the focus away from becoming. No matter what it is that you want to become in your career, becoming that, you will become that. If you focus enough on that, any one day, you will go ahead and become that. And if you think that, this was my lifetime goal to become that, and now that goal has been fulfilled. Well, here it is that in the quest to becoming something, in that thirst that you were living in, that thirst hasn't gone away. That thirst has actually multiplied. And so that thirst will show up some other place as something else. It will never be that you are going to be satiated because you met your goal. Well, one thing you became, 4 others will open up. Even if you become the best CEO, in town and everything, well, somebody will point out to you, along with that, you had to become a good husband too. You had to be this too and that too. And so you can never become all that you came to be. So everybody who's focusing on the outside to become, and to think that their life is going to look more fulfilled when you become on the outside, well, here is just yet another wake-up call. Because outside, nothing except the thirst that you are growing in you, and that thirst, that hunger will keep showing up from outside even more at all times. And so now, going into the space of being, what is it that you have to do to be in the space of being? Well, these eyes close, not physically, but these eyes, even as they look outside, they're able to see the story. They're able to see the story, the illusion that is outside. The eye that opens is the one that looks within. I always, these days, everything has simplified to how to look within by just asking yourself this one question again and again. What am I feeling? That one question always gives us the answer of who we are in that moment. Who are we being in this moment is simply a function of what frequency we are being in this moment. And when we look at ourselves to just be doesn't mean only one limited aspect. As in, what I'm wanting to say is that when we just say just be, it doesn't mean that just being is only about being at peace. Because peace is just simply one of the many hundred options that's available to us, but we can be anything. We can be whoever we want to be or who we are in this moment. And it has nothing to do with the outside world. I want to be a pilot. I want to be a doctor. You can be whatever you want to be. It doesn't have anything to do with outside ambitions and goals. It has nothing to do with prepping you up, saying that, you can be whoever you want to be. The sky is the limit. Go dream whatever you want to dream. No, this is all to bring you back within, to say you can be in this moment whoever you want to be. If anger is happening, there are 2 things that we do. One is to become aware of the anger, or the other is to actually suppress the anger or express the anger. These two, so suppression and expression, they both actually just belong on one side. Because when you are expressing, even over there, you are actually, the beautiful thing about any of the emotions is that even while we are in that place, the mind is at work creating stories and stories. And as we are getting into the stories, we are not actually aware of who we are. We are very aware of the story. We are very aware of the actors. We are very aware of what's happening on the outside and our reaction to it. But we are not aware in that moment of who we are. Even as we suppress an emotion, again, we are trying to suppress, let us say it is again an anger. The suppression comes from fear or comes from the rejection that if I become angry, this world is going to reject me. Anger is not a good thing. So all of our judgments are still playing when we are trying to suppress ourselves from expressing an emotion. As we be, it is our natural response. But as we be, there is an aware audience, and you are that aware audience. You are that aware I. That I is not just the body that is reacting. The I is actually the observer, the audience that's watching the play. And in that state, the play might be happening, the body might be reacting to anything and creating any responses, but that I, the observer I, is being. That I is simply being. By being an observer, that I is being. There is no reaction, there is no judgment to whatever is happening on the outside, and there is not even a judgment to what we are feeling. There is no judgment to any emotion at all. And every emotion, in every emotion, you can simply be. When you are not in the emotion, when you are not in the story, then you are simply being. And as you be, as today's topic, the difference between becoming and being. Becoming more calm, becoming more peaceful would need that you start to judge yourself when the anger is happening. Oh, this anger is not good. I should become more calm. Now you're putting, stops on yourself. Now you are suppressing that which is your natural state. Not suppression, neither expression, but the awareness as an audience, the awareness as an observer. And that awareness will make you feel so many times in a day, especially when I'm conducting these programs and there are all kinds of participants whose energies are asking for different kinds of responses from me. Whose energies are asking. Why do I say that? Because even though I'm called the Danda Devi, and that's what I mostly do. I go around giving dandas to people. But as I'm doing the danda, at all times, the one question that I keep asking myself, what am I feeling? There is an I that is actually observing at all times the story that is happening. I said this and she said that. And what am I feeling? And when I said this and he responded like that, even at their response, what am I feeling? When we become that, we allow ourselves to be free in our reactions because there is no judgment. When there is no judgment, that is the place of being. Everything else is from the mind. What response shall I give? What response will be more acceptable to the other and less hurtful for me? As we think in all those directions, there is a calculated, calibrated response, but that calculated response is about becoming. It is not about being. The mind is at work over there, and the mind sees separation always. The mind will always work from fear, from lack, from whatever frequencies that are, which will make me see that this is me and this is my interest and I have to protect it, or I have to become, something. And for becoming that something, I need to be I need to hold myself in a certain place. I need to hold myself through fears. Everybody else out there might be there to sabotage. When we think about others from a place of fear, when there is so much separation, then we are constantly going to come from the mind. But when we are simply being, no matter what is happening, but we are being as we are in that moment through the observation. So when I'm being, when I'm being one observer, and the life is playing out one drama after the other, and I'm being Danda Devi to one, and I'm treating somebody very beautifully and nicely, it's because your energies decide what reaction you are going to receive from me. Yes, it's your energies. And why am I able to say it so easily that it's your energy that decides the action from me? Because inside, I'm constantly looking at, is there judgment on myself as I behave in a certain way? If I behave in anger, am I judging my anger? As soon as I'm judging my anger, I am no longer in the state of being. That anger will, of course, when I judge my anger and I judge somebody else's anger, that frequency has a different result. But when you're the observer and simply playing your play, in any costume that might be, in any frequency that might be, in any role that might be, as you're simply playing the play, the outcome is very different when there's an observer that is watching. That observer is constantly in the place of peace. And that observer, that 99% of your energy is still playing in peace, whereas that 1% of you is playing in the drama on earth. And in that moment, it doesn't matter what the outside is looking like. You know for yourself that you are simply being. And so being able to experience every emotion, every emotion with complete intensity. When people come to me and they say, oh, we want to be calm, and we want to become more, we want to become more peaceful, we want to become more of this and more of that, there is judgment in there. And I always tell people, it's not about losing that part of you. Initially, I might tell you, okay, release this thought, release this frequency. But when you understand your frequencies more and more, it's about accepting yourself fully and totally. If you are sitting in fear, then right now your question will be, oh my God, you're telling me to accept my anger and be angry at all times. And if I am angry, I'm going to ruin all my relationships. Yes, because sitting in the frequency of fear, you cannot understand what being in the observer space might look like. And so for that, firstly, to move into the observer space, all of you know, I recommend that you be in my frequency. In my frequency, all of this observer space, the surrender space, the faith, all of it exists in large quantities. And so as you take more from this frequency of mine, it becomes your frequency. It's not like I'm giving you something brand new. All of these frequencies are already a part of your system. You are already everything that you need to be. You are everything that you need to be at all times. However, you haven't come here to experience your wholeness and your oneness. And so that is why through the earth dramas and through the earth costumes and through the earth's wants and the earth desires, you go through limiting yourself, limiting and experiencing your limited self. That's what we go through when we come here. This is what we came to experience. So not even judging how the rest of your life has been. Oh my God, I've spent 40 years just being so limited. Thank God I found Meenal. No, it's only now that your energy was ready to accept this oneness. It had come here for a very, very beautiful purpose, to understand the duality, to understand just looking outside. And from that space, now the time has come that you can look within and you can create your own reality. That own reality might look very different from what you thought reality was going to be. Again, if you're outside, looking outside and creating outside goals for somebody, for yourself, for your children, if you are doing the outside goal, please understand that it's never you're looking at goals, you're creating vision boards, you're creating, presentations that is getting you to where your life needs to be. Your energy field is getting you where life needs to be. And all of this, creating of all of these career goals and marriage goals and family goals and all of that are simply ways for us to experience duality, ways for us to keep on looking outside rather than within. The whole universe that is within, from there, when we begin to create the whole universe that is all about who am I in this moment, because there is neither in the energy. When I operate from energy space, there is no yesterday, last moment, and the next moment. There's only me in this moment. And that experience is full, intently full, completely intensely full. And it's not that I'm wanting to change the experience. The next moment, in this one moment, I could be full anger. And then simply in the very next moment, to be able to observe that anger and to be able to see that is all of you still anger, or have you moved on to the next moment, comes constantly from observing. And in that one moment when anger strikes, that one full moment of that frequency of anger can be fully experienced in that one moment. And the next moment would be that of awareness. Oh, why did I get angry even for that one moment? It's just an experience. Every experience, just that. The experience of anger, rejection, sadness, hurt, everything. You can cut it moment to moment. And then in this moment, experiencing complete hurt. And then the next moment itself, experiencing complete awareness. And we can constantly be in those two spaces. Will there be not a single moment when we are not aware? There would be one moment in time, if you speak, of when we can experience that frequency. But when we are aware, that experience is done. We can go through the entire gamut of experience in that one tiny little moment. And then as the awareness comes, the choice can be again exercised. Whatever it is I want to be, I can be that. I'm fully done with that experience. When we begin to become afraid of our experiences, oh, I don't wish to be this, I don't wish to be that, we are suppressing a full half side of the coin. We are the full coin, the head and the tail. We are the complete Shiva, the destruction and the creation. Not just this and not just that. But when we sit in righteousness and when we sit in judgment of all that is not seeming right to us, in that place, we are actually simply ignoring, suppressing that other half of us. We can play in that other half without fear, and we can play all of it in just a moment, not necessary to prolong the experience, but not even necessary to be afraid of the experience. I think I see a few chats. I'm going to stop here. Okay. Many times I catch myself at the mercy of another. For instance, lately, I signed a renovation contract with the contractor, and soon enough, it was me chasing him for work to happen and move, which he turns around to say that he'll withdraw if I wish to know on regular basis as to progress. This evokes anger and frustration while I'm entitled to ask if I've paid for the service. I move back and forth from the point of judgment and non-judgment, but not yet free of it. I want what's the guided answer for it. Okay, so let's first pick up this one. It's just so amazing. So yeah, Now, to be able to look at this entire drama that's happening on the outside as a creation of what? As a creation of our anger, of our irritation, and of our expectation. If I have paid for it, my expectation is that you should do this and you should do that. When we build an expectation on anything, I have a webinar on expectation, which just kind of harps on this one again and again. And I know that you've seen it, but from expectation outside, we are simply creating links to get more upset and more hurt. The story outside is of building expectations. And you'll say, but I've paid the money. Whatever money had to do, it did. It created expectations in you. And now in that work, you have so much fear. This work is not going to happen. I need to follow up on that. The finger is outside on a contractor. But for me, the thing to do would be, why did this contractor come to me in the first place? I went through a very similar, it's just amazing, because I think last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, I can't remember when, but there was a very beautiful similar contractor who came in my life as well. And constantly I was sitting in so much judgment. He was supposed to finish the work in 1 month, and he went on for 6 months. He didn't do the work. And whatever he did as the work, everything that he kept doing and moving forward, it was really, really bad quality. And I just kept looking at that and getting so frustrated. And every moment, there would be a moment of frustration, and there would be an aware moment. And I would realize that fully, I have actually experienced that frustration in those moments that I was screaming at him. And then I would simply sit down and bring the finger back within and release my frustration, because I could see that it is my frustration. As soon as I could become aware, I could see that it is my frustration, my irritation that has come to play through this contractor. And so I kept working on it, and I kept working on it. And I think I must have worked enough on it to be able to look within, because you know what? Again, as I say, expectations are such an amazing thing that we put the expectations out. We look at the expectations and we take them out and like, okay, I release all my expectations. And for the next one day, you will be sitting without any expectation, and the day will go well. And then again, just you'll go out through the back door and pick up those expectations again and bring them right back. So to be constantly looking at what expectations we are creating, and those expectations, where are they taking us? What all frequencies of ours, the finger not on the contractor, but what all frequencies of ours have come to play through this play of contractor and this and that. Also, I say fear because what if this doesn't happen? What if this doesn't happen the way you like it? What if this doesn't happen in time? There's a lot of fear at those outcomes. And so simply to be able to look at those, oh, so much money gone to waste, so much time and effort gone to waste, the work would be on waste, the work would be on effort, the work would be on mistrust frequency, and all of the work simply on us. And so as we work more and more on ourselves, so I must have done some amount of work on myself or whatever, that money finally took pity on me. And then he said, because the work had happened and finally the contractor had gone, it had taken him 6 months. And he, and then suddenly after 6 months, suddenly I noticed within the very next 10 days, I noticed that there was, water accumulation, and this was plumbing work. And after he took 6 months to make my bathrooms, there was plumbing work. And immediately there was more water in the brand new bathroom, and it was in the walls. And I was just about to like, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. And I sat down yet again to release my irritation, my expectation, my anger. And I said, thank you for showing me everything that I still managed to bring back to me. I understand that I'm not holding it, but these are frequencies that we just happen to pick up when the finger is outside. So I picked up this frequency again and again and again and again. I was able to release it. And, I understand that, okay, if anger has come to be experienced, it's okay. It's okay for me to experience anger. It's okay for me to experience rejection. It's just an experience. And then I must have sat deeper into it, and the work must have been done, because Mani said to me, you don't worry. You're not going to live in this house for very long. You're not, and the next person who comes in, they're going to break all of this. They're not going to even use this brand new bathroom that you've created for yourself. So, and I was just laughing and said, wow, look at my attachment, that, oh my God, it's a brand new bathroom. It's my bathroom. It's a brand new one. I'm going to be enjoying this. And now there's water in the bathroom. And right there and then Mani said to me, you're not even going to be here. You're not even going to enjoy this place or whatever. So don't worry about it at all. And with that, as soon as I heard that, literally the all of that anxiety about, how much money has been spent and this and that, how much time, oh my God, I have to go through some more work again. All of that frequency simply just left me. So the attachment, again, the expectation and the one link behind that is the attachment to something. So I had really become attached to the idea of having that amazing bathroom. And then money broke my attachment for me. And then, sure enough, within 6 to 8 months, so much of construction started to happen outside that house that it was time for me to move on. But I didn't know that I was going to be moving on. That was the day, when I had worked on myself, that Mani said, let go. This is not the place, and this is not where you have to take any anxiety, any attachment, any expectations. Just let go. Enjoy this place as it is right now. You're not going to live here forever. Something very similar had happened even many, many years ago when, I talk about this Powai house. And then when we just recently received the Powai house, and I went over there, and the air conditioning was all faulty and it hadn't been put up properly. And the carpenter had not done the proper job of leveling. And I was kind of, looking at the carpenter and working within, and looking at the carpenter and working within. And suddenly, as I was going to the place to again supervise the work, Mani said to me, don't worry about air conditioning. You're never going to live in that house. That house is not going to be yours. And as soon as he said that, all of that attachment to that house, and how the air conditioner unit should be, and how this should look, and how that should look, out of the window. That was that. And I completely went over there, and I was so easy on the carpenter, and whatever he did, he could do. But all of the grievance that I had came from my attachment, my expectation. And so for you, the answer would be, please take a look a little bit more onto the attachments and expectations, because it is your frequencies that have brought in all of these beautiful contractors, just as my frequencies brought in that fellow. Could you please clarify who or what becomes more aware? Is it the 1% body mind? It is both. When you are aware, what is it that you're aware of? You are aware in that moment of the frequency that you are. The body is engaged in that play, but when you become aware, you are aware that you are not just this body, you are energy, and that energy is playing in this space right now. So the first, it's a moment of clicking, right? One click or whatever, but the energy that you are, that awareness comes to you. And who are you in that moment? You, because you have thought of yourself as the energy, because you've thought of yourself not just as the limited body, you are right now the 1% body and the 99% energy. In that space, when we become aware, we become 100% complete. We are the body plus the energy when we are aware. When we are in the story, then we are simply that 1% body who's doing whatever needs to be done as a reaction to the situation, looking outside. But the minute that thought, that frequency hits, that frequency of guidance, which tells you, it's a frequency of guidance which will tell you, look at this is anger frequency you are playing in, and it's just a frequency. And in that moment, you become the creator. So who is it that speaks when you are aware? The 100% of you is speaking when you are aware. I want to ask a question on relationship when you ask me. Okay, Asha, go ahead. Asha?
I'm sending you on chat.
Acha,
I'm
okay.
sending.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, you could
Yeah,
have
I'm
just
just doing
written.
that. I'm
Yeah,
writing
yeah,
in chat.
okay. I'm just moving forward.
Yeah.
His being means when I inspire or teach, I should have implemented what I say or teach. How important it is to apply on self before you teach. So it is in your being. Who are you teaching? I don't understand who it is that you are teaching. Who is there to teach anything to? I totally don't understand the question. By being, I mean that you are aware of the frequency that you are in. The frequency, and no matter what that frequency is, by being a teacher, oh, you want to become a teacher. All right, then. You want to become a good teacher. Oh, that's purely about that first part that we talked about, that becoming a teacher is all about becoming. It's all about looking outside, and it's not about being. The beautiful part is that when you are trying to become, you cannot be, because you're trying to become. All of that effort is on the knowledge. All of that effort is towards the judgment, who you should be and who you shouldn't be. But when you are being, you can actually do the opposite. You can become. You can become whoever you want to be while being. But when you say to me, oh, what should I do to teach? I want to be a good teacher. I don't see there is anybody who is there to understand from you, or somebody that needs to, that needs to be your student. And for that, you have to be a good teacher. There is nobody on the outside. But when you are too much into a role, and then you will come from a place of righteousness for that role. And this is right and this is wrong. And I should be this and I shouldn't be that. It's all about becoming. That, again, as I said, it's the first part of the webinar. Right now, we were just simply talking about being. Being is being in the moment. Being is simply being any frequency where you are in the moment, completely experiencing the frequency, and in the next moment, becoming aware of it. And that is all there is to it. I'm not telling you to walk away from any frequency. I'm simply telling you that when we become aware, we can actually be, because one moment of being in that frequency is enough, and the next moment will make us be simply an aware being who can look at that moment and release that moment too. The life is lived from moment to moment in frequencies and not in role to role. Every role that you go to, you carry your frequencies. Every frequency that you are in, you don't necessarily carry your roles. So the place of being just is. It's without judgment. It's where you haven't engaged your mind towards any judgment, and you are immersed in whatever is. When you are too immersed in teaching, and you are too immersed to even be bothered about what you are doing to teach, but you are simply enjoying the game of teaching. When you are in that moment and playing along without judgment, you might be teaching for a full hour, but in that hour, there might be 3 or 4 such moments where you are completely immersed in what you are doing without judging yourself on what you are doing. In those little moments, you are being. In the rest of the moments where you are trying to be something, I should practice this. There is nobody else to practice on. Before I teach this, you can't teach anything to anybody. They have chosen you. They have chosen you as a teacher. They have chosen you as a role. This is a costume that you are wearing on. You are not a teacher. So please sign off from the role of a teacher. The only person that we are constantly teaching is ourselves. There is nobody else who wants to learn, because you know what? We think that we have to make the river move in one direction or the other. And if we didn't make those moves, the river wouldn't know where to go. The river will find, every river will find a way to the seas. It will find a way to the ocean. It is already directed. Every being is already operating from their own energy field. That energy field is their teacher. That energy field has chosen you. Just a second, muting Yash and Asha. And Yash also burping in the middle of all of this. And I can't find the way to mute him. Okay, mute all. It's so funny. The moment he chooses to be unmuted, and that's the moment he chooses to burp. Wonderful. That must be a very happy tummy. Okay, all right. So,
Ma, so that was that in the role that I play, if I have not executed things what I have, so it means being what my understanding was till date was that if I'm telling something to do to my child or students or anyone, I should have implemented, then my being level transmits. So it was that clarity I was thinking to look forward. Being, matlab, like in your case, I look at it, ki 9 years you have written journaling and all. And now for me, if I have not done it and I'm telling someone, you know, so then that being
when you
doesn't get
haven't done
transmitted.
it, when you haven't done it and you're telling someone to do it, what are you feeling? You are judging yourself. You are judging yourself in a role. I have to do everything before I can tell it to anybody. Yours is just a role. That fellow has asked for you to play this role. Whether you tell them something or you don't tell them something, it doesn't matter. They will actually go where they have to go. But you're in a role, you have some lines. Those lines have been given to you by that energy to for whom that you are playing that role to. And then in all of this, you haven't asked yourself this one question: what am I feeling? You are feeling, well, you are judging yourself so much and you are feeling inadequate. And, oh, I haven't done this and how can I ask? So you are feeling guilty and you are judging yourself. So please, till the time your eyes remain on the outside and till the time you are hell-bent on being a good teacher, you can't be. That's all there is to it. You can't be. You want to be the best teacher there is. You want to become a good teacher. You can keep becoming. You can keep coming to all such sessions and you will want to be by emulating. You know, oh, Ma has done this and so I should be like that. Again, it's that's how we started in the first place. But how do we do the becoming part of it? By copying somebody else, by learning from somebody else. It's all about knowledge, and that is all about the becoming part. And we are telling you the becoming is all about looking outside, and you can come back to looking within and say, there is no child that I have to be a teacher to. The child is not 5 years old. That child is a 1 crore year old being. That child is the being. And hopefully as a child, it's still not one of those judging beings, but it might be. That's what their journey is. But that child is just another being, and their energy has chosen me to play out these lines and say those lines without feeling guilty. Say those lines without judging yourself. The more you judge yourself, the more you will be, oh, I have to become better at this. Are, you are Shiva. What will you get better at? You are great at destructing. You are great at creating. And you are great at everything in the middle. You just have to be aware of who you are. You're not a, you know, gaaliyan aa rahi hai mere muh pe. You are not a teacher. You are not a teacher to anybody.
Got it, ma. De do gaaliyan to thoda.
You know, you are not an effing teacher. That was the gali. Okay. You are only here to experience. You're only here to experience. But look, even in this experience, just the experience of being with children and all of that, how much judgment for the self can you put in over there? Let go of the judgment. When you let go of the judgment and you are simply being, today I'm going to be whatever teacher I can be. I'll scream at people if scream comes. I'll be loving to them if love comes. I will be whatever comes. No planning needed. No detailed worksheets needed. Just I will be. And in that moment, you will be, firstly, you will be truthful to yourself because you will just be. And there is nothing else to do but just to be. And from that space, your energy of being will transmit that automatically when you are not trying to be something. So don't try to be, just be.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Okay. I've got the answer still asking. Being in equanimity with no judgments inside, how does one express opinions of doing so-called right in the moment to actors in front? I could observe my disappointment at someone not completing scheduled work at office. I came to a place of dropping judgments and gratitude for that person, but I still feel that her action needs to be corrected. So go correct now. If you've looked within, and then if you are simply just being, then even this action will come without judgment. No. When many of you, when I keep telling people that look within, many of you people think, okay, now you can't take action outside. And I simply say flow. Whatever the action is, just simply flow. Don't judge this and don't judge that. First, you were going to express and then you judge your expression. Chalo, by judging your expression, you were able to work within. And now you are judging, and now you're suppressing. Now at least look within and look at your suppression as well. It's not about what you do as a calculated move. That's not about being. About being is when the move happens through you and you are simultaneously in that awareness. So yes, all of this will take you back to being more and more aware, because in one moment expressing as is. So if something came to tell to your colleague, but you didn't, and instead you worked with it, fine, you changed the course, you changed your frequency, that's totally perfect. And now if it still comes to you, if this thought comes, and you flow with the thought without judging the thought. When the thought came to look within, do so without judging yourself. Oh, why did I have to do that? Oh my God. This is about not judging the self and not judging the other, but simply flowing, becoming aware one moment and being in the other moment, being aware in one moment and being in that other frequency, being totally immersed. But understand that if you are looking within again and again, then automatically this frequency of guidance, if you've tuned into the frequency of Meenal, if you are constantly, looking within, then automatically this parallel path will happen. One moment and then the shift of that moment, one moment and the shift of that moment. And that moment could even go a little bit longer. Even if it goes longer, even if you've been angry the whole day, just being angry, and that's it, without judgment, not even judging. We are not judging the frequency. We are simply understanding that, yes, we can change the frequency. It's a choice. It's a power to be able to change the frequency, to be able to play in whatever frequency we wish to play in. And so from that place of being energy plus the creator, in this moment, being the plus creator, I can choose whatever I wish to choose. I have all of that power coming from that place of love for the self, that I am the powerful one. I am and I can do whatever it is that I wish to experience. I can change the experience. I am that powerful. It comes from a place of love for the self and not from a place of judgment for the self. No matter what you are trying to become, please take a moment to see if you are indeed coming from a place of love for the self, unconditional love for the self. Whether I become this or I become that, whether I don't become this or I don't become that, I am awesome. I am Shiva. I am the creator. I am the creator of my own universe. Inside, I know it's not important, but outside we can show judgments. You can show any damn thing. I'm just trying to understand how you manage being versus becoming, because I don't see you showing two faces. Yeah, but even as one moment of anger happens, that split second, if you want to measure it in seconds, when the anger happens and the anger is in full force, that one moment could be fully anger. You know what? That is even needed for the role that I am playing to somebody. If I am playing the role of an angry person, in that one moment when I experience that anger, the next moment I get to see and to ask myself, what am I feeling? And in that moment of observation, I'm truly able to see. In that one moment itself, I'm totally able to see if that one moment of anger has now shifted to another frequency, or am I still sitting there? If I'm still sitting there, I can change. I can change. So I keep one face. Yes, I do. Because that other face, you can't even notice, because that one face and the second face is just a moment to moment. You don't attempt to correct anything outside consciously. No, I don't. In the state of being. Yeah, we don't need to correct anything, because nothing needs correction. The river is flowing in whatever direction. It doesn't need correction. It's going to find its way. We might judge the river for not flowing this way and not flowing that way, but we are, that's our judgment. Everything is already, there is nobody who is lost. Everybody is on their journey, whether it's a one-day-old child or it's a 100-year-old man. All of them are on their own journey. When they choose to interact with you, it means their energy has brought them to you, their energy, and not yours alone. Your energy has brought them to you, and there's a play of energies happening at all times. What is your experience going to be? You decide. Whatever their experience is going to be, you play the role without judging. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, Asha, tell me.
No, I tried to send that on chat twice and it just didn't reach to
Okay,
you.
why don't you
That
talk
means-
to me? Why don't you just read it
that's
out
what
to me?
That's what the universe wants me to do. And what happens that in relationship, there are two people who had very good relationship, but now there is no harmony just for one incident. I tried with one person to make them understand, but he said, I have tried my best, I can't do anything more. The second person, I don't think my guidance says not to approach at all. So I just, now then I thought, as long as I would like to have harmony, that is my liking. So I started praying universe. And I just told universe, oh divine, please see that the harmony comes between them. That's all I have mentioned. So whether I am right or not, I don't know, but you have to give me guidance for that. Because I can do the prayer only to get the harmony between them. Both of them are Shiva, both of them very nice. Everything is fine. But what shall I do? I don't know. I just kept quiet.
Nothing. What shall you do? You should look at your own self and see when there is no harmony between them. What am I feeling? So what are you feeling when there's no harmony between them?
I don't feel anything bad or anything good, but I just feel that it will happen when it has to happen.
Correct. So then what is there to do? Nothing to do.
So
That's
prayers
it.
with you
It'll
to
happen
universe.
There is nothing called a prayer except thank you. That's the only prayer. The prayer, the only prayer is thank you for whatever it is that is being shown to me. Thank you for whatever it is that is happening around me. Thank you. That's the only prayer that I understand. I don't understand praying for something, because if you are praying for something, then there is underlying fear. You might say that, oh, I don't feel anything. If you truly don't feel anything, why is it even bothering you that there is no harmony? It
So I
should.
see them
The
every
whole
day.
world, the whole world, there is no harmony. We didn't come here to earth to experience harmony. We actually came to earth to experience disharmony. That's the whole piece, that we came to experience love of expectations. We came to experience love through attachments. We came to experience what we call as love, but it's not love at all. We came to experience duality. We came to experience everything that is not love. We call it love, but it's not love. It's all based on expectations. And the only way we can begin to understand love, the only way we can begin to understand love is by being unconditionally loving to ourselves. That's it. That's it. So if your love towards yourself is unconditional and they are on their own journey, as you rightly said, they are Shiva, they are this, they are that, then let them be. That's it. They are experiencing what they came to experience. It's the perfect experience for them. If that experience of theirs is keeping you unhappy or keeping you wanting, oh, I want this should happen. Yeah. Even I want that the whole world, you only want two people. If I came to wanting, I would say, oh, nobody in the world should fight only. Nobody, everybody should live as one family, no fight at all. I don't want anybody to fight. But that's not what they came here for. That's my want, and I have to look into my want, and I have to look into my set of expectations if I want something like this from the whole world, or even from two people. So it's your expectation. Please take a look. They are under they're under no obligation to be harmonious because that's what you want. They are their own Shiva. They are going through their own experience. You take a look. If it's bothering you a little bit, then you take a look and you release that botheration into the candle by knowing even more and more that they are Shiva. Even this disharmony is happening for a purpose. Everything in our life is happening for a purpose. So just as I answered Megha that any correction we want to do, no, we don't understand the purpose. We have a very limited understanding that no, harmony is a good purpose. But no, we don't understand what experiences they are born for and how they are going to receive those experiences. We just sit in the middle of them and we be the judge. I don't like this, I don't like that. The two of you get together. They are under no obligation to do so. They have their own energy field, their own experiences. You simply look at what that experience is bringing to you. That's you're like, oh, what can I do to correct it? Well, look within and release this need to correct something. Right. This need belongs to you. This particular need that they should be this way and they should not be that way. Sometimes we see two brothers fighting, like the both of them are brothers. They are no brothers. They're just actors to each other. Just because they were born from the one same womb doesn't mean anything. Everybody is simply an actor to another. And what is going to play out is always going to be our frequency. So what is playing out for them is their frequency. That's it. Can you change their frequency? Well, you can send unconditional love to them. When you send love to them through your prayer, oh, I pray for the universe for this to happen with you and for you to become more likable to the other and that person to become more likable to this one. That's not a prayer. The prayer of unconditional love is, I honor the Shiva in you. I honor your journey. And that's the end of story.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Very well explained.
Okay. One more thing, sign of suppression is that lurking feeling that I should have expressed it, regret frequency. And if in that moment I looked within to change course, than expressing. It was out of fear to express and not from the place of power to look within. Looking within, looking within from a place of being. That's what you're saying. Yes. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, because when we keep looking deeper and deeper, every moment we are doing something, we are wanting to be something, but each of those moments of wanting to be something is coming from a place of judgment, and that place is not of being, that place is of becoming. All right, everybody. I think we are all chats done. I think all questions answered. Yep, see the chat is free. Let's move to a short little meditation in the place of peak. Okay, everyone. Take a deep breath in and exhale. A deep breath in and hold. The next breath in, just simply hold. Hold in your stomach area for a few seconds, and then release. The mind, let go, let go, let go. In this moment, all thoughts let go. Simply blank your mind, nothing else but my voice. Only my voice and nothing else. All your focus on my voice in this moment. Being completely devoid of all thought and simply putting all your attention to this voice that you can hear. And now, as this voice goes quiet, can you hear the silence too? Hold your breath. And then, as you exhale, can you hear your breath? Taking your mind, your attention off all the noise, nothing outside, simply all your focus on the breath. And as you take the next breath in and hold, notice the place where you're holding the breath. That place in your stomach where you're holding the breath. Put your palm on your stomach. As you take the next breath in, hold and exhale. That center where you hold your breath. With the next breath, feel the center, experience the center. And as I go quiet, completely quiet, imagine that from that center, your prana, your energy is starting to vibrate and expand. From that center of your breath, your energy is expanding and expanding. Feel the energy. You might even be able to experience that energy as you hold your breath every now and then, and you sit in silence. The center of your energy, of your prana, expanding, expanding through your whole body. All your attention focused on that energy, and it's expanding and more till it becomes so large that it's even beginning to show outside your body, larger and larger, till your energy becomes so vast, so large, that you can see your body as one bindu, one point in that vast space, in that vast energy. Experience it through the quiet. This vibrational force that is you, this is you. From your breath in that body to the universe, as you vibrate, this is you, the energy, the source that is you. Experience your vastness. Experience your vibration. This is the true you. The body so small, so tiny in that universe bubble of energy, your energy. This is your energy. This is your universe. And you are the central force. Feel the power. Feel the power within you. And as you begin to return back to the body, awareness of the breath. Through the breath, this body, the center of all your energy. Not just the experiencer, no. In the moment that you are fully aware of the energy that you are, this body is the center of all that you are. This body, so powerful. Experience this power of love. Sit in this space of vibration just a little bit more. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. Okay, everybody, lots and lots of love.